Hey everybody, I'm Paulette and I'm a part of Brownstone Worldwide. Today on Brownstone's Best Business Review, we have an opportunity to sit down with my good friend Ishi Light from the world-renowned Grammy Award-winning group Arrested Development. We're going to be talking all things the entertainment industry, motherhood, life after breast cancer, and everything else in between. Let's get ready to bring her onto the couch of Brownstone Worldwide and let's come set a spell. Let's go.
Hey, Paulette. How you doing? I love your home. It's beautiful. Look at me knocking the thing. Lord, beautiful home. Thank you for having me.
Well, come on in. Let's set a spell.
Yes.
So, Ishi,
Yay. I'm so happy
let's
to be
get
here.
into it. First of
Yes.
all, I'm so happy that you have stopped through today to hang out with us for Brownstone's Best Business Review. Me and you go way back.
Way back. Way back.
So let's start there.
Yes,
so
way back.
If we clown just a little bit, it's because
Right.
but I'm glad that you stopped by today because
Thank you for having me.
well, yes, of course, because that's just how we do.
Yes.
We even had that conversation.
Yes.
And we're gonna talk about that too today.
Yes.
Let's start from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And let's tell everybody, first of all, who you are.
Okay. Well, I am Ishi Light.
Okay.
I am born and raised here in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
I am a dancer, singer, choreographer,
Yes.
creative director,
Yes.
writer, songwriter.
She threw that hand
Look.
up. Yes.
I actually do management for my daughter, who's a model.
Okay.
I do artist management for my artist named Bobby.
Okay.
And I do a lot of things. I'm just an artist. I mean,
Yes.
just a creative, shout out to my mom for that. So kicking it all off.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Who you looking like more and more?
I'm telling you, don't I look like a
Oh my God.
just like a right,
You
just a
looking
brown
like
skinned bird.
Yes. That part.
Yes.
So, Ishi, Arrested Development. Let's
Yes.
jump right into it. So,
Yes.
you're the baby of the group. Let's
The
put that
baby.
out there, right?
Yes.
And so, let's talk briefly about your experience with Arrested Development and how it still goes on and continues. So let's expand a little bit about Arrested Development, what you recall, because where I'm going is this thing called the stretch. We talked about that in our green room time. We talked about the stretch and all of those experiences you had. Now you started with Arrested Development when you were how old?
13. I was 13 years old. So before even I can't talk about Arrested Development without talking about my mom and how it all started with her.
Okay.
So my mom, name of her dance school was called the Billy Gaither School of Dance.
Yeah.
And I started dancing when I was 2 years old.
Oh.
And she was the one who introduced me to the arts and, just dance and being creative and all that kind of stuff. So I started learning tap, jazz, ballet, modern, all kinds of baton twirling with my mom. So I was 2 years old and been dancing all my life, right? So I started doing like talent shows around Atlanta. We would perform at Greenbrier Mall with the dance school, West End Mall.
Did you say Greenbrier
Mall? We used to call it Blackbriar. But we would do that, churches, all that kind of stuff. So that's really how I got my footing, if you will, in performing arts, right? And so at around 11, I started performing for local artists in Atlanta. And so I started doing that first. And then I got the opportunity to do Arrested Development.
Right.
And that came about through Ian Burke.
Okay.
And my sister.
Shout out to Ian.
And shout out to Ian and my sister Keita.
That's right.
And so Ian, at the time, I think when he when he told my sister about the group, she either was dancing for Pebbles or James Brown or somebody at the time. And he told her, hey, it's this group called Arrested Development. They're looking for a dancer. And she was like, I don't want to do that. I'm going to let my little sister do it. And so, because my sister was like, I'm a Vegas girl. I'm not into all that kind of stuff. Right. And so she knew I did African dance, of course. So she took me to the audition. Ian and my sister, I was 13 years old. I remember what I had on. Wow. Girl, I had on these black hammer pants, girl. No. Yes, I did. And I had on these black patent leather shoes with these big old satiny bows. I had on a yellow and white polka dot shirt with a white base, okay? I had the asymmetrical hairstyle. Girl, I was doing it. Okay. Because Kwame was big. And I loved Kwame at that time. I was a real huge fan. I still love him now. And so I went to the audition. I remember Speech and Hairline looking at me like, she don't really fit the bill, the Afrocentric bill. And so, and I did the audition. The rest is history, you know. And I've been with the group, you know, performing with the group for years, since I was 13. Since you were 13. And even now, I still do special shows and special tours with the group. When, you know, Speech wants me to come out. And it's exciting. But I toured consistently all the way up until 2012. Wow. And then the only other time I took a break is when I had my daughter, which was in 2003, because I was so sick when I was pregnant with her. So, but I just touring. But, you know, God called me off touring off the road during that time, 2012, because I knew something major was getting ready to happen. Yeah. But I didn't know what. Yeah. And then for those next 3 years, I was with my mom every day. Yeah. Because we lived together. And then she passed in 2015. Right. So, you know, it was all purposeful. But you know, that's life.
It is. But let's talk about, and you know, I'm glad that you brought that up. Like, people think, and we talked about this too, people think that this was an overnight thing, and it wasn't.
And it was not.
Right. and another thing that I think is important to point out too was, I think none of us realized the history that was being made. Right.
That's true.
Because just last year, you had an opportunity to tour with Arrested Development, all you guys together again. Yeah. And some of the newer members and Speech, and you guys hung out with the Roots. Yes. And did that like this whole 50 years of hip hop tour.
Yes.
Did you ever think in all of the years that you were part of Arrested Development that this moment in history would come?
To be honest, let me tell you something. I just like performing and being on stage. I didn't even, you know, when you're in it and you're so young, you're not really, you know, thinking about, you're just like, I'm just having fun, you know? So I wasn't even, it really, like, now I understand the magnitude of it and just the weight of it all, right? But then I mean, not that I took it for granted at all. It's just that I didn't get it. You know what I mean? And so, because you know, when you're in something, you're moving so fast, and, you know, you're like, oh my God, you know, and then you look back like, dang, I did that. I mean, it's so crazy because sometimes I forget the stuff that because it was so much that happened, right? But, just touring with the Roots and Digable Planets and just the other members of Arrested Development, it was just awesome. And to see, like, you know, with the Roots especially, the level of excellence, you know, because they're on TV, so you can tell that they're a band that moves all the time and is consistent, and they do TV, because when you're on TV, you got to move a little different. Right. Because it's time, baby, time. And you can see that. And then Digable Planets, to just see them do their thing and the smooth jazz, hip hop, you know, that vibe. Yeah. Everybody looks so good. Everybody's still here. That's what's important. And it was just great, just being out on the road. And then we did, we did a big show out in LA. Yeah. And that was like with Queen Latifah and Common and oh my God, MC Light. It was so many people. I remember. Yeah, and that was super fun. Yeah. And just to, you know, be a fan of the artists that you grew up on, and now you're on the stage with, like, oh, this is super fun. Yeah. You know, so I'm just to be honest, it's just, I'm very grateful,
Yeah.
just grateful. I've learned a lot, because this industry offers a lot of highs and a lot of lows. Okay.
He said-
And when the highs are highs, they high. But when the lows are lows, baby, they low.
Talk about it. Talk about it.
And so and everything in between, but it's like, I look back on it and I'm just like, wow, God has blessed me. I'm in museums, I'm in books, I'm
Yes.
in, I was able to take my daughter to Nashville and in 2024, and we went to the museum down in Nashville, African American music.
Right.
And there I was, on the wall, and then I'm looking like, wow, I was probably maybe a year younger than my daughter at the time. You know what I mean? She's looking at it, I'm looking at it in this body, in this space now. And it's like, wow, what would I have told my younger self?
That part.
And then
good.
I'm looking at my daughter, look at me,
Yeah. And it's like,
and all these different phases. And it's just, it's crazy. Like, so, and I think about it often. I hate my mom, didn't get to see it all, but I know she's shining down because, the
Absolutely.
legacy, it continues because she started it all. It started with her.
Absolutely.
What I do, my daughter and my sister, my brother, any of us, my nephew, it's because, just the legacy that and the level of excellence that she set.
That part.
You know what I
Level of
mean? So,
excellence.
yes.
Absolutely. And so 50 years of hip hop, and you have lived a life outside of that.
Yes,
Right?
definitely.
So you're your mom,
Yes.
and you speak often of your baby.
Yeah, my snickerdoodle.
Yes. and how you have helped her through her career.
Yes.
But you also talked about something else too, with motherhood and with touring and things of that nature. Now, I can recall being when I first went out on tour with Arrested Development, I had a baby.
Right.
And Tamika toured with us until South, I think it was South Carolina. And my dad had to come get her
Wow.
because, and I don't think you recall that.
I think I do.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and it was Mama's Always on Stage was a real thing.
Yes.
And I think we were one of the few that was doing it back then. But here's the question that I have for you, because you really are Mama's Always on Stage
Oh, yeah.
all the time. Because
Yes.
here's something that people don't think about a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Wherever you go,
Yeah.
you are always on stage.
Oh, my God.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Because you are so recognizable. That's number one. So let's talk about that. As a mother, always having to be on stage, even when you don't want to be, when things are going wrong.
Right.
And
That
when
part.
life is challenging and you're
Yeah.
out in public and somebody remembers you.
Yeah.
What is that like for you, and how do you handle that now at this age? Because first of all, you ain't aged.
Oh, you're so crazy, girl. Thank you. And you haven't.
I appreciate that. But
Thank
let's
you.
talk about
They say black don't crack if you take care
Come
of
on, man. Yes, let's talk about it. So let's discuss briefly your experience as a mother, which will forever be a part of you.
Oh, yes, forever.
But as a mother that is always on stage, putting children first, but sometimes having to take the moments to focus on you.
Yeah.
And being on stage, even when you're at Publix.
Oh, my gosh.
Let's talk about that. What is that like?
It's funny. That's first of all a great question. It's so funny because I remember one time my daughter and I, we often go to the Cavs Farmers Market. That's our spot.
Love the care part.
So we're in there walking, and this really handsome guy kept looking at me, and I was just like, looking behind me like, oh, is he looking at me? And I saw that he was with a woman, so I was just like, it was this. And so my daughter was like, Mommy, why does he keep looking at us? I don't know. So then he just keeps walking, he keeps looking, keeps walking, keeps looking. And then he says, excuse me, are you the girl from Arrested Development? I laughed. I said, yeah. And his girlfriend wife came up and said, I'm sorry for him being weird and staring at you. And I was like, no, I just didn't know what was going on, And it was crazy because sometimes I forget it because I'm, when you're just kind of like in your mode and at least I'm trying to get to the office.
Right.
To the spices. So I'm like, I just don't think about about it, you know. But I've had people follow me in the store from out down aisle to aisle, and I'm just like, what's going on, you know? But and sometimes it just doesn't register, you know what I mean?
Right.
So you know, I now, especially in the social media, it's like I always try to be conscious of it too, because I don't want people to think like, because I'm just a genuinely friendly person anyways.
That part.
However, you know, I don't want, you know, someone may come up to you and, you know, I always just try to be engaging with people, but also on the other extreme part of that, you have to be careful, because today's times are so different.
Crazy.
You don't know. You don't know. You know what I mean? And so then you can be standing there and someone filming you the whole time and you don't even know you're being filmed.
And then you find yourself on social media.
And you're like, what? You know what I mean? So I do think about that consciously. So now, like, most of the time when I go out, not because I don't want people to know, but I'll wear a mask just for protection, because I can't get sick, you know?
Right.
And so sometimes people come up to me and they'll know me by my eyes or stuff like that. And I'm just like, that's crazy, you know? So, but I usually just kind of try to get in and get out, you know? But it's funny, like, some people recognize me, some people don't, or some people may say, I went to school, I know you. Someone, did we go to school together? In my head, I'm like, I know I didn't go to school with this person, because they might be from a whole nother state. And I'm
exactly.
like, no.
Exactly.
And I said, you know, I don't know. Maybe I have one of those familiar faces.
And you play right along.
Yeah, because you know, but I'm just like, I remember one time when the group was really, really big, and my nephew, he was about 3 or 4 at the time. This was in the 90s. I stood for 2 hours signing autographs in Lenox Mall. Wow. And I remember it scared him, because he was like, wow, these people, auntie, you know, like he didn't know. And I remember another time, this was before, of course, social media. So, you know, remember when the fans used to write to you?
Yes.
And we used to get fan mail, so we had garbage bags full of fan mail. And I used to go to Little 5 Points all the time. And girl, somebody was like, yeah, I see you at Little 5 Points all the time. You're in this store and that store, and you had on this. Then I saw you another time. I was like, oh, I got to stop going there for a while. So I just stopped going for a while, because I was like, wow. And they were like, they never came up to me, but they would watch me all the time when I came down. So I was just like, this is crazy. So and so now, but the world is very different now from when we came up, you know what I mean? So now it's like, okay, I even had an experience one time. I've never told this, so you're getting the exclusive, right?
Exclusive, y'all. Exclusive.
I remember one time. Do you know where the Kroger is? I don't even think it's there anymore. It was on Punts. You know what Punts City Market?
Now it's like this little.
Yes, you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking
about. And
I'll
never forget, I was with someone who was a friend, childhood friend, and we had gone into Kroger's, and it was about midnight, and no one was in the store. And this girl and her friends, I guess they had come from the club. They were drunk. She was drunk. She followed me down every aisle. I had a bald head, saying, you black bald-headed bee. I mean, every aisle. I know who you are. I know who you are. She was literally trying to fight me just because I was from the group. I had never seen this girl ever in my life. Wow. Right? And that's when I realized people will try to provoke you to do things so that then they can, you know, tarnish your name or defame you in any way and get a check. Right. And I was like, whoa. And that was my first experience, because I didn't walk around with security or anything, you know, because I'm like, this is my hometown. You know what I mean?
Which brings me to something that happened, and then we're going to move to the next topic. But you brought up a really good point, and I need people to hear when you're so comfortable, and it's not that you're clueless. You said, this is my hometown. These are my people. Yeah. One time, this is a true story. This really happened. We were in Oberlin, Ohio. And
the group?
Yes.
Okay.
Dino told us. Dino was a part of the security.
Yes, of course he is. I talk to Dino all the time.
Dino told me and Tari, don't go nowhere. You not remember we weren't we weren't supposed to go anywhere without security. Okay, cool. We thought we were gonna be slick.
Right.
So we went to Denny's.
No, y'all didn't.
By ourselves. We took a matter of fact, I think we walked, and it was right after our performance,
Yeah.
and In Vogue was on. So
Yeah.
we gonna figure
we're gonna go sneak off.
we gonna sneak off. We weren't supposed to. Girl, when I tell you, we must have missed the time that the show was over because people started rushing the building
No, girl.
when they saw me and her sitting at the counter, and
Oh
we got
my
so
God.
scared. The manager literally, she had this old jalopy.
Yeah.
You remember it was a way you had to lock your steering
Yes,
wheel.
yes.
Girl, she was like, y'all got to come through the back door. You gotta go through the back because they coming for you. And then when I tell you she had to lock the front door. They were banging. I was absolutely terrified. So to your point,
Yes.
to your point, we got back to the hotel in one piece, and I don't know how Dino found out about it.
But he did. And chewed you out.
And chewed us out and was like, I told y'all,
Yes.
don't ever go
Yeah.
anywhere without us. Do you think in today's age, with
Yeah.
the way that things are, ma'am,
Yeah.
your career has spanned from
Yeah.
13 to what age you're getting ready to be very shortly.
Yes.
And who you are and your
Yeah.
face is recognizable
Mhm.
in any industry,
Right.
right? And where
Mhm.
you've expanded and gone, do you think that you will have to go back to those moments or those days ever?
I now it's different.
Yeah.
It's very different now. So my daughter and I, we talk about this a lot.
Yeah.
With social media, it's different.
Uh-huh.
It's very different. People can tell where you live. It's just so many things, and that right there is just it does make me a smidget uncomfortable.
Right? Yeah.
Because it's like you just never know because I think growing up in the time that we grew up, it was very much so this. You had to, it's the connection person to person.
Yeah.
Now, literally, I can be out and people say, "Oh, I follow you on Instagram. I'm one of your Instagram followers," or you follow me, we follow each other, and they may recognize you, and you're like, "Oh my God, you know what? Do I follow you back? Like, please send me a DM so I can follow you back. I don't know, And so, I think it's just deep now because it's like somebody can just with the stroke of a key can find out so much about you and who may be related to you and things like that. So I'm a very private person when it comes to that. Like my personal life, like, I don't date or anything, but if I was, and if I was married, that would no, you wouldn't know. And my daughter, we do stuff online because what she does for a living as well. But even with that, I'm still protective of my pudding.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And it's an interesting thought, because I hear about people houses getting broken into and people showing up at their door. Like you're like, what?
What do you think?
I did have a guy call me one time in the middle of the night. He got my phone number from somewhere, and I thought he was a producer because I pick up my phone any time of night because sometimes I have people in LA, different places, so I don't think about like, oh, that's rude or anything.
Right.
So it was like 1 or something, and I think it was a LA number.
Yeah.
So in my head, I'm like, oh, whatever.
Right.
And he had the same name as a producer I was working with. So when I picked up, I was like, oh, hey, how you doing? And whatever. And I was half asleep, and then I noticed it wasn't the guy because he kept saying, "Oh my God, I'm actually talking to you." And I was like, "How did you get my number?" And it was just that right there. And he was like, "I'm sorry. I got it I saw it on the website or some site." And I'm just like, "Huh?" Yes. I changed my number the next day.
You did.
It freaked me out. So and it's I don't know. It's interesting, but I know that when the time comes, God will help me navigate it because it's just different now.
It really
so
is.
Like I feel like a fish out of water, if you will.
Right, it's a new territory, right? Especially
it's very different.
Yeah,
girl, because back then you couldn't really just. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we were. I think we say it best. We were we were a community.
It
We were
was
neighbors in every sense of the word. We took care of each other.
Yeah,
we
looked out
for each other. We don't.
Yeah.
We, you know,
It's different now. I mean, most people don't even know who their neighbors are.
Right.
Most people now.
Not even gonna talk about that.
I hear you.
One or two people.
Right,
You
I
know.
hear you.
So yeah.
Yes.
But anyway, let's when we come back, I want to talk about where you're going.
Okay. Yes,
From
ma'am.
your experiences from the past 2 years. And we know exactly what we're going to be talking about.
Yes.
And how you fought your way back
Yes.
to where you are now.
Yes.
And what's coming for 2025. How's that?
Yes.
All right now. So let's start talking about your experience when you first discovered that you had breast cancer. How did you find out?
Actually, I found out through a mammogram.
Oh, really?
My annual mammogram. So prior to me getting the mammogram, you know, I do my breast self-exam. And I did feel a small lump. However, I had a biopsy maybe a year or two before in the same area. So in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, that's just like scar tissue or,
Right.
you know, the marker they put something.
Right.
You know, it just didn't dawn on me.
Yeah.
And so when I went, it was early in December, and I went, and this was in 2021, and then they were like, we see something, but we don't know, we're going to have you come back. So I came back, I did another one, and they were like, yeah, we definitely see something. And they were saying they wanted to do a biopsy on me.
Okay.
And so then this was my second biopsy on the same breast. So I went in on my birthday, December 23rd, 2021, and then they did the biopsy. And this time it was a different biopsy than the first one. And then I found out on December 30th that it came back positive.
Oh, wow.
And so I never forget, I was at the gas station getting gas. I had dropped my daughter off at the salon, and I was getting gas, and I was like, what a number. It was a strange number. And I picked up the phone, and they sent my name. And the way he was talking, I was like, okay. I knew.
You knew.
And then, but the beautiful part, immediately after he told me, he said, but you're going to be healed. You're healed now.
Come
So
on.
from the top. So that was kind of the sentiment of everybody, you know. And then after, I mean, they moved pretty quick. So this was December. I got my surgery. I think I had it in, was it January or February?
Oh, wow. That is
quick.
fast.
And so I met with my surgical oncologist. He was awesome. And, you know, he broke down like, this is what you could do. You could do. My daughter went with me because she was right there the whole time.
Right.
And my sister was there. Now, during this time too, which is even crazier, before I got diagnosed, this was on December 18th. I'm sitting at a stop sign and two cars hit me from the front.
No.
Yes. So my car's totaled. And that day I had to teach a class. I still taught the class. My daughter had to do something. And then the next week was my birthday. You know, go get it was just like so much happened that month.
Yeah.
And so I didn't have a car throughout my whole time going through treatment. So my sister was my personal Uber driver.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Because I didn't want to have to go through, like, I just didn't want to. It was a little old lady who caused the accident. I didn't want to. It was, and I was already dealing with getting the news of, you know, having breast cancer at the time. So I was like, I don't want to have to deal with this and that. So my sister was like, I'll just drive you around, because I knew at certain times I wouldn't probably feel good enough anyway.
Absolutely.
And yes, I'm glad she was around. And then I had other friends, people who helped. It was primarily my sister.
Right.
And so they did the surgery first, and then I started treatment. And so then I did radiation treatment. And I had no idea, like, radiation treatment, you go to it like you had a job. So you go just Monday through Friday, and they give you a time slot, and when you go, but it's not a long time. Right. You might be there maybe 10, 15 minutes, 30 max, and your treatment is very short.
Yeah.
Because the amount of radiation that's going into your body at that time is a enormous amount. So, you know, it was crazy, but to be honest, mentally it can take a toll on you because it was every day. So I said, you know, during that time, I feel like I really truly found my purpose in life.
Oh, wow.
Because I right before that, in November of 2021, I said, God, I know what I can do. I know my gifts, and I'm still discovering things, but I know for the most part, I think I got a clear idea. However, how is my purpose, or what is my purpose connected to this? Why am I still doing these things? And God told me my purpose. And so when I got the diagnosis and started going through the treatment, I said, you know what? I'm supposed to be the light. And that's when I even changed my name to Ishi Light.
Wow.
And so I was like, okay, God. And so when I would go every day, I would just be like, hi, everybody. Get to know people. Some people couldn't talk because they had throat cancer. Some people, it was like people younger than me and older people. It was white, black, every race you could think about, ethnic group. And it was like male and female.
Wow.
And it was amazing. It was amazing. Like, wow, all these people are, you know, and just to hear everybody's stories. And I would just come in there and try to make people laugh and or smile and just be polite. And I started making friends.
Okay.
Yeah. So, because we were, you know, you're going to see the same people every day at the same time. And so, and that's what I did. And so I just was like, you know what? It was days I felt horrible, but I still was like, I got to be the light. And so I just will go on this ride. It made me feel better too.
Good.
You know what I mean? Because it's so like you when you're in the on the machine, it's so uncomfortable. The table, you know how you have to hold your arms, your neck. It's a lot. And but you know my radiation oncologist, he was amazing. My medical oncologist. So I had a really good team of people. However, though, I have had instances, you know, while going through this, where I've had doctors tell me it's in my head, or, you know, they don't believe me, or things like that. And you have to advocate for yourself.
That's
and then I also, outside of doing Western medicine, I did holistic stuff.
There you go.
I did both. I had to, because I was like, I can't do all of this and not do that. So like eating right, I would get out and walk when I could, when I had the energy. And my daughter would walk with me. She said, Mom, just do as many steps as you can. And whatever you can't do, don't worry about it. And, you know, for me as a performer, entertainer, I use my body to make money, change, you know, put smiles on people's faces. So this was difficult for me. And even to this day, because they cut me here and they took some lymph nodes out, and you know it's really like hard right here from the scar tissue, and sometimes I'll get a shooting pain that will bring me to my knees because they had to cut through nerves. And so, you know, it's that. And then in a few years before that, I had hernia repair surgery.
Girl.
And that ain't no joke.
Woo.
So,
you've been busy.
Yes. So I've had a lot of that, you know, and just, you know, but God is so good, because it's been tough. Like even now, you know, here we are, you know, now in this going into 2025, right? And it's just kind of like, I still feel it. You know, and I'm still going to my oncologist. I'm still doing all the stuff. I'm still doing the blood test. I'm doing it all because it's still, you know, you got to just go through the cycle of it. You got to stay on top of it because it is a silent killer if you don't, you know, know, you know. So I encourage people, listen, do your self-exams. If something doesn't feel right in your body, it's not. You know what I mean? It is not. So, you know, and I'm one of those type of people, look, my pinky toe hurt. Oh, go to the doctor.
Gotta know.
You got to, and you got to tell me, you know, and I just love, like, you know, my breast got really, really dark. Like your pants dark. Mine dark. Like, and it's still kind of discolored. And even my doctors was like, I was like, I want to use the aloe plant on it, and this is what I want to do, and this, and they were like, do it. You know, they were open to a lot of the holistic things that I wanted to do. And so I was grateful for that. But it's been a journey, and I pray that just me sharing my story will help somebody, because it's not a death sentence. No, you know what I'm saying? We've come a long way in, you know, just research and things. And I'm just like, early detection is the key.
Come on now. Y'all heard what she said.
Early detection is the key.
Okay.
Yes. And get that colonoscopy and all that stuff.
Mammograms. So get your colonoscopy, your mammograms.
Yes.
And just go to your regular checkup.
Yes, checkup. Also, too, can I say this?
Go ahead.
Dental. Go to the dentist,
please,
because people don't understand. I don't know if people, I'm sure some people do, but the mass majority of people don't realize your teeth, if your teeth get rotten, decayed, cavities, anything, it goes into your bloodstream.
Yes.
And it affects your body. Yes. So I tell folks, listen, just go get a regular exam and get your teeth clean.
Yeah.
And, you know, do what you can.
Yes.
You know, because I understand it's you know, everything is so expensive.
It's so expensive.
Yes. But it is a place that I always tell people about, if it's okay if I can tell folks
about.
So it's called the Center for Black Women's Wellness.
Okay.
Or Black Women's Wellness.
Center for Black Women's Wellness. Okay.
And it's near Magic City. Okay, not far from the Magic City.
So after you do shaking your tail, wait. You can go. Listen, go get yourself checked out. Yes. So let me stop.
I love it. Listen, I say yes, but it's an amazing place. You don't have to have insurance, and if you the most that you may pay, I want to say it goes up to maybe 60, 70 for a check, you know, just to see, and maybe $250. But that's nothing. It's privately funded, and they give free therapy.
I love
through this place. It's amazing resource. So I try to tell all my ladies, because they also see men.
Okay, good.
Because our brothers don't like to go to the doctor.
No, they don't.
And
I can't.
I've had to put a couple of them in a headlock.
Going.
You better get to that doctor. You know? But because our people, a lot of times we go because of fear. Don't go for fear.
Yeah.
Or, you know, just economics.
Right.
You know, and I understand. I get it. So I try to tell people about this place. It's a great resource.
Good.
So,
excellent. And we'll definitely share that with our audience at the end for sure. So we're going to grab that from you. Listen, I definitely wanted to talk about what you're doing now, because you're on the other side. You rang the bell.
Come on.
Hey.
Hey.
Come on. Jesus. In the name.
Glory.
So you rang the bell.
Yes.
And now that you're on the other side, you are doing everything that you can to eat right, take care of yourself, stay healthy.
Yes.
Like I said, you look amazing.
Thank you so much, and you do too.
Thank you. I received that. But listen, I gotta know, what are you doing now?
Yes.
To, number one, you keep up with your appointments, make sure that you're getting your blood work and stuff done. But what else are you doing in terms of diet, in terms of keeping that skin glowing, and all the things?
Listen, let me tell you. Well, a few things. I started eliminating stress out of my life too.
Oh,
because stress was a big factor.
Oh,
you know, picking up other people's stuff, worrying about other people's stuff, and trying to, you know, have that God-like complex where I think I can save everybody, or trying to save everybody. Or doing too much. So I'm learning to
I need to sit
my black tail down. And knowing that sometimes we get in the way of what God is doing, and that we try to help people or look out for people, and it's like God said, I didn't tell you to do that. You did that on your own, and that's why you're stressing out, and that's why you got all this stuff going on. Right. And so I'm learning to just things that don't honor me in this season, not doing that. Learning boundaries.
Right.
Not only giving boundaries, but also respecting other people's.
Yeah.
Just also eliminating, just those stressors, because sometimes stressors are people and jobs.
Ooh.
And so, okay, I did that for so many years. I'm not going to do that anymore because it really didn't serve me. It really served you more than it did me. You know what I'm saying?
I need a fan.
And so, I'm doing that now.
Yeah.
And then also just constantly, I do eat for my blood type.
Yeah.
I've been doing that. My daughter and I also do a lot of like for facials at home when I can't go get a facial. I do turmeric, honey, apple cider vinegar.
Come on now.
I do that. I steam.
Yeah.
I do clay mask, just all kinds of stuff. I love walking.
Yeah.
I love to walk, so I try to get my 10,000 steps in or more.
Yeah.
Lightweight lifting, Pilates, of course, still dancing. Dancing gets me going. And then now I'm having to adjust to my new body, so to speak. You know what I mean? Because with them removing lymph nodes, it changes, everything in your body. Because this is where we have a lot of women, our lymph nodes under and gut, and just all over our bodies. They're everywhere. But taking them out, it does kind of, I can feel the change in my body.
Oh, wow.
Because your body.
Yes,
so I was like, something's off. Something different. But I just do those things and just try to laugh a lot, just watch things that self-development. I read a lot. We don't own TVs. And so we like to read. Like I'm reading like 5 books right now. So reading a lot, watching a lot of things that just really encourage and just gonna make me be the best version of myself, because that I want to be the best version I can be. A friend, sister, daughter, mother, wife, if that's what God want me to be one day, partner, business partner, whatever,
absolutely.
Whatever God has called me to. I just want to be all those things and be the best version of myself. So I'm just constantly working on me.
I love that.
You know what I mean? And just learning where, errors, and I could do this better, or I could be better in this area. So just working on that. And then also too, doing things I love. I'm back in the studio doing music. Recording music with another original member, Ross Dunn of Arrested Development. Yeah. And we've been working together doing stuff. And I also work with an amazing production crew called the Hot Hitters. Okay. And we've known each other for years. Yeah. And then also my dear friend David, and he is a writer, and so he comes in, and so been doing a lot of that, and I'm working on a documentary about my life. I've been doing that for like 30 months. With Jay and Ty and the rest of the crew. I'm so grateful for them, believing in my project. And we've been just working, and we are at the end of everything, in the final stages. And just so many other things. I'm doing auditions. I audition for commercials. I audition for my daughter auditions. We act. We're doing all because those are the things that I want to do. You know what I mean? I've always wanted to like host or act. And
you're good.
My personality.
You are.
Thank you. So I'm just like, God, whatever you want me to. And I do believe it's still things that I haven't discovered yet that I'll be doing,
Of course.
Public speaking. And my good sis right here, we gonna do some stuff together. Just all those wonderful things. And I'm so excited because turning 50, 50 is a rebirth. It really, truly is. It's a renewing. And so I'm just like, wow, I'm about to be 50. And I'm thinking of it not like, oh, I'm about to be 50. This is going to be a great year. I'm thinking about the decade. Yes. You know what I mean? Yes. I'm saying this is going to be a great decade. That's right. You know what I mean? Because I'm just declaring it. Because my 40s have been a true, it's been a growing time. The stretch. Baby, you talking about stretch, like that thing stretching like, baby, it's some spandex. Listen, baby,
Girl, who
the
you
stretch
telling?
is
Ooh.
real, honey.
They don't even
Okay,
understand.
when I turned 40, it seemed like when I turned 40, but I'm just,
started.
baby. Let me tell you something.
And I was like,
I was
okay,
just like,
God. Okay.
Okay, but you know what's so funny, and this is again something I've shared personally with my daughter. God told me before I turned 40 that it was. He said, your 40 is gonna be trying, but you're gonna be all right.
You're gonna be all right.
You're gonna come out it on the other side. But I didn't know. That's so vague. Like, okay, trying what you mean?
What you gonna give me
But, right. But I didn't know.
Can I pee?
Yeah, right. And it was just like from losing my mom at 40 till during that time, maybe up until I turned 40, 23 people that I knew.
My God.
And then losing more people going into it. Then the pandemic.
Yes.
Then so many other things that happened in my 40s.
Right.
And so, baby, when I tell you, I'm grateful for it though, because it taught me so much.
Yeah.
And I've grown from the person I was when 40 to now. Leaps and bounds. But I had to go through that because God is like, I'm positioning you for greater.
Yes.
And you know how to endure.
Yes.
And you know how to press on during it.
Come on.
You know what I mean? So now it's like, okay, she got it. She got it. She can handle it.
Yes.
So I'm just like, okay, God. And then God told me this. He said, your 50 is going to be amazing. Everything that you. So I said, okay, when you told me about my 40s, it actually happened just the way you said.
Yeah, the stretch.
Yes.
And now
you telling me, because I have real conversations with God every day, multiple times a day.
Yes, jiving.
Listen.
Sitting in the car.
Listen, while I'm in the shower.
You said,
you got it. And his word cannot return unto him void.
That's right.
He got to answer. He got to say whatever he said he's going to do, he's going to do.
He going to do it.
And I'm holding on to, prophetic words and also just prayers that I know my mama prayed. Yeah. And I've been praying for years. And just knowing that he's going to do it.
Amen.
And I don't know how.
Yeah. But it ain't for us to figure it out.
Right.
Amen.
Right.
Amen.
So I'm just grateful.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful.
Excellent. And I love this because this is a perfect segue for us to go into the next segment talking about a couple of things when it comes to business.
Yes.
Excellence 2025.
Hey.
And the year of excellence.
Come on.
Ishi Light. All right.
Yeah, I like that.
All right. We'll be right back after this, you guys. Okay. So now we are wrapping up this amazing interview. First of all, I want to thank you for coming to hang out with me today.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been a ball. I have
had a ball.
It's been great.
Like the old folks say, on today.
On today.
So listen, a couple of things that I always like to ask every business owner that comes through Brownstone Living and Brownstone Worldwide. What's the good, the bad, and the ugly of being in business?
Oh my goodness. That's a whole mouthful right there.
Right.
I think the beautiful part about it is that you get to do what you truly love, whether it be your passion, your purpose, what have you. You get to really operate in your greatness in whatever that area is. So I think that's beautiful. I think for me, making my own hours.
That's right.
And so then that also gives me time to spend with my family, with my friends, mainly my daughter, and just work on other projects that I have as well.
Right.
So that's the beautiful part. I love the freedom of being able to move about and travel or whatever, without being confined to a certain time frame, and it just being monotonous and mundane. You know what I mean? I like the adventure of it all. And it's funny because with me, I like structure, and of course in certain aspects of my life, but then it's like I'm in a business that's so unpredictable. It's like that's so crazy, And I like to. I don't necessarily like to use the word bad. I say challenging.
Okay.
So challenging. Being a business owner is people don't see the work you put in it behind the
Talk
scenes.
about it.
The hours, like, for example, I just did a photo shoot
Yeah.
for my new project.
Yeah.
I have literally been looking at over 700 and something pictures for the past 2 days. And just going back through it. And then I narrow it down. Then I go back through it again. Then I narrow it down again. Then I go back through it, so sometimes I'm going through 10 times narrowing it down to the best photos.
Right.
And making calls, staying up all night, doing this, getting up, going to bed late, getting up early, trying to getting up at 5 and 6 in the morning, trying to get paperwork done and stuff before 9 o'clock. For me, being an artist and an entertainer, having to work out, watch what you eat,
come on with it.
Health, as we spoke about earlier, just all those things. Also, too, you are your greatest salesperson. So, like, you're the product.
Right.
So when you walk out that door, are you put together? What your hair looking like, what your nails looking like, do you, is your skin looking good, because this is a business, unfortunately, a lot has to do with vanity,
that part,
aesthetics, and all of that. So then you're constantly like, okay, wardrobe, what am I going to wear for this? Got to have wardrobe, got to have this, got to have that, and it's not necessarily, you do what is whatever your image, but whatever your image is, you have to keep it up.
That's
you
right.
Gotta,
Absolutely.
And, it's, you have to always be on top of it.
On top of it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because sometimes you go out to the store and you're caught slipping, and you just run into people. Might be the moment. So it's so much that goes into it, but I love it. And I've taught myself a lot of things because I didn't always have the finances to go and pay this person and that person. So I had to learn how to do makeup, how to do hair, how to color my hair, how to do my wardrobe styling, how to do this, how to do that, how to do nails. I know how to do a lot of stuff because I had to learn.
Exactly.
And I wanted to learn. You know what I mean?
Course.
Because sometimes you're not going to have people at your beck and call. You know what I mean? And sometimes, especially if you're working with great people, they're going to be working with a whole bunch of other folks.
That part. Exactly.
So, but people don't see, they just see the finished product, but they don't see the sleepless nights, the nights that you're on your knees praying.
Ooh,
you know what I mean?
Come on.
Like, God bring resources from the north, south, east, and west, from the high and the low.
Yes, you are talking the truth.
Listen, bring in divine connections
all the time.
You know what I mean? And then you also have to keep, out of sight, out of mind. So you have to constantly going back into your database, reaching out to people. Now we have social media, which is a beautiful part.
Right.
You can reach out to a person. Hey, you cross my mind, just thoughts, whatever. It's just it's so much that we do that people don't see.
That's
As
right.
many times you're not getting paid.
Yep.
You have to wait for long times to get your check, or get paid. Sometimes folks just won't pay you.
Just won't pay you. Right. And will tell you what it wasn't worth.
Yes.
But they making money off of it.
That part.
Make that make sense.
That part. And I've had people, one thing about me, I always like to do charitable things. So I have a certain amount of charitable things I do a year. And at one point, I remember for about a year or two, I just did charity. That's all I did.
Yeah.
And I remember when it was time for compensation on different things, you should want to do this. You should want to give back.
What is that about?
I have no idea. And I'm just like, but I do all the time. I just may not publicly say it because I just, some things I just want to do in private.
Exactly.
But I've been giving back since I was a teenager.
Right.
In my community and in other communities in my city.
Right.
I used to teach dance in Bankhead Courts. When I was a young teenager. Dr. Young gave me a chance. He was the director over there of the community center, I think at the time. And that was my first dancing, choreography job, teaching job. Things like that. I work with a lot of young youth groups and just a lot of different things.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I should want to do it, and I'm just like, and I have to tell people, because a lot of times people don't think about entertainment as a real job. And I was just like, okay, if I came to your job, your 9 to 5,
come on now,
and took a whole 2-3 hours out of your pay, you'll be asking questions.
Yes.
I said, so it's the same thing with us. When certain things if you do this, we don't get paid. If you don't do this, we don't get paid.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's so much like people don't understand, and so I respect other people, and I want people to respect me.
Amen.
And so now, and when people think you're too nice, they will take advantage.
They'll try to go for the jugular one.
So I've had that a lot. She's, and now it's like my no is a hard no. And my yes is a hard yes.
That's it.
You know what I mean? So, but and I've just learned that you can't help everybody. You only can do so much with what you can do. But I'm all about helping people for sure. But I remember my mother, one thing she said about business to me, she said, baby, because my mom was so sweet. She said, in my basement, all I got is a bunch of certificates and a bunch of stuff like that from people who I helped. And she said, that's all I got.
Wow.
She said, where are those people now?
Wow.
And I saw my mom. She being a dance school owner, she wanted kids who couldn't do it have an opportunity. She would take her own money, buy people's costumes, and send that baby on. Don't worry about that baby paying that baby's tuition. And stuff like that.
Yeah.
And when it was time in the end for my mom to be honored, it was very few people that showed up.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And so she said, you're so much like me. She said, don't be like me, be better than me.
Come on now. And see, that's what it's about.
Yes. Yep.
You have taken those amazing lessons that your mother left.
Yes.
And you're building upon that and leaving a legacy for your children.
And my daughter, I tell her all the time, be about that business.
Be about that business. And let's segue into that, because you said something earlier when we took a break on mediocrity.
Yes.
Is the new excellence.
Yes.
Let's talk about that for a few minutes before we wrap up.
Yes.
So I'm hearing what you're saying. So I'm not going to call any names, but when we're talking about mediocrity, I think we're also talking about a community of creators.
Yes.
Who look for the instant, because that is how it is presented online. Now everybody is marketing and using social media and emailing and the internet to reach their new audience or their same old audience.
Yes.
But where they have made their biggest mistake is they present to you the final product, which is fine. But see, back in the day, and you said this earlier, back in the day, nobody saw the hard work that went into the rehearsals and the dancing and the late night rehearsals and things like that before, or even the road trips and how exhausting those can be, and how you get the travel itself, and how you get from one place to another, and you don't get to go to the hotel right away because you got to go to the in-store.
Come on now.
Come on now, let's talk about
sound check.
Or sound check, because they're not letting you leave and then wait, you're not going to bed because you got a show that night.
And now check-in time is like 3 or 4 in the afternoon. It used to be at 12.
It used to be at 12.
Now you having to wait. Sometimes you can get early check-in, but sometimes you can't.
That's right. That's right.
It's a whole thing.
And it's exhausting. But see, they don't know that part. What they see is somebody with a phone going,
right.
And they don't understand all of the rigors that were put through, traveling with a baby, expecting, still mothering, doing all the things. But what we see,
bus is breaking down.
Luggage
getting lost.
Let's talk about that. You know what I mean? Having disagreements with some of your bandmates.
Getting sick on the road.
And having to call somebody to come. All of those things. But what we see now, and here's the thing, we talked about all of that. But when you got on stage, you better do what?
You better show up.
You better bring
You better show up.
That's right. And nobody was wiser of the exhaustion and the time and the energy that we put into things, and that you all have put into things. But here's what's interesting to me, to round it up and to put it back on you as a question. Now we're talking about people get online, and I know that we have young people that think that this is music. This is.
Right.
And now we have a hit album.
Right.
Or you know, we have people that don't even know how to, not so much read music, but have never really heard real music, not even Big Mama's music or ours.
Yeah.
And they're trying to make beats on what? So I'm confused.
Yeah.
I am not taking away from anything that's happening right now. But what do you say to those people who think that it took 4 or 5 days and you got a hit, and you think that it's going to be a sustainable way to maintain a specific level of excellence that anybody that is giving you their hard-earned money should expect from you?
Well, you know, that's such a great question. It's very layered. So I feel like, okay, say for instance you do become a success on social media or something, and it could be just, you know, by chance or whatever, because I think everything that happens is a reason, right? I think it is important that you get under someone who is seasoned in that area, so that, okay, if it did just happen for you, quote unquote, so to speak, like that at least you'll get under someone who can train you up properly and show you the right way. Because do you know about copyrights?
Come on.
Do you know about ASCAP, BMI, CSAC?
Come on.
Do you know about Sound Exchange? I mean, it's a whole bunch of stuff. You know, streaming, okay, but do you know all of the behind the ins and outs of it, the money behind it? Do you know about how important it is to build a fan base, so that each city you go to, your fans show up for you. You know what I mean? Do you know about the importance of connecting with promoters and people in your city, you know, learning the people who are the movers, shakers in your city and other cities, surrounding cities. You know, it's so many things. Do you know about managers? Do you know if you need a manager right now, because you may not have a career to need to be managed at this point? Do you know what I mean? Do you have legal representation? If you don't, do you have somewhere you can go and not a family law for entertainment law? Not, you know what I mean? Like, you got to be in entertainment law. Do you know an accountant? Do you know somebody who can get you to an accountant? Do you know about taxes? Because, okay, you may make all this money, but you're going to have to give part of that to...
Sam.
And they gonna get theirs.
They gonna get theirs.
Period.
Now or later. That part,
So they gonna get theirs.
And
it's like, it's so many layers to that thing. You know, you get staff, you go on tour, you have these people, you gotta have insurance, it's buses, it's travel, it's this, it's hotels, it's what if somebody gets sick? You know, you have to protect yourself because, okay, what if you have a disgruntled worker? What do you have? It's
so many.
It's so many parts. And so I feel like, again, it is no reason for a person to be ignorant about it's too much information out here. You can go get books to read. That's what I do, because I don't think I know everything. So I'm constantly like researching. Because it's constantly changing. Who are the new movers and shakers? Who are the new people that's on top, or the heads of this and heads of that? Because the people that were there when I was coming up, they're no longer there, gone, or on to something else, or, you know, transitioned. You know what I mean? It's so different now, and I think that we got to get back, even if it's not just as a whole, but even as an individual. I want better for myself. So what can I do to be better? Like, I'm looking at myself in the mirror. Okay, what can I do better? How can I improve my brand? Because I often tell artists, when you go in the grocery store, and I'm one of those people, when I go in the grocery store, I don't get the package that's in the very front. I'm going to look through, go to the back, move it around, you know. And if I see a package that got a dent in it, or a bend, or a squish, I'm not going to get that. So you are a product. And you have to look at yourself as a product. You like when my daughter models, she understands I'm a human coat hanger. Not saying that she doesn't have feelings and this, but you are there to sell the garment.
Come on.
Not sell, you know what I mean?
Right.
You there to wear what they want you to wear. If you sign up for this, then you understand, okay, so I'm wearing this, Valentino or whatever. I'm selling the garment.
Yes.
If it's a purse, you're going to walk like this and you're not going to put the purse behind you because you're trying to sell the purse.
Ooh,
you see what I'm saying? So we have to understand we are a product. So if you're a hairstylist and you come outside all the time and your hair is not done, you probably won't ever get clients.
Right.
If you're a makeup artist, sometimes you have to wear makeup. Do you get what I mean? It's like, so what you say you are, you have to live it and be and walk in it. And so that's very important. And you have to embody it. You get what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, and I think a lot of times when you embody it, other people will see it on you. You don't have to say anything. They just see it. Because you're walking in it.
Absolutely.
And so I just think in general, we had a level of excellence and standards.
Yes,
and I think that so much has been watered down. And it is a lot of amazing artists out here now. Right? But again, labels are not the same. And so many things are not the same. So people, they're not putting the artist development work into what they used to make you media trained and know how to do this and know how to do this and know how to work a situation or work a room. They don't do that anymore.
Nope.
You as an artist have to individually take the time to say, you know what, I'm going to invest in myself because you're your greatest investment.
Woo!
You're your greatest investment.
Girl.
So you have to invest in yourself. You're never losing money when you're investing in yourself. Period. You know what I mean? I don't care how much it costs,
Come on.
Like for real. And I joke with my daughter all the time. When we do stuff, I say, woo, we're going to put that to you on your tab, $1 trillion. And she'll laugh. And she said, I'm never going to be able to pay you back. I said, you don't have to. I said, you know how you pay me back? You continue to be great.
That part.
And I just play with her with that like that. But it's just the reality. Like, if I sat and thought about all the money I've spent on myself, on my daughter, and for our dreams to come, I would probably like, what? You know what I mean? Because it accumulates over the years. But at the end of the day, I'm like, I'm my greatest investment.
Yeah.
She's an extension of me. She's my greatest investment.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like when she win, I win. When I win, she wins.
That part.
When I win, a whole group of people win.
That part.
Same with her. You get what I mean? So I just, every day, yes, I have Grammys. Yeah, I have awards. But I'm like, I'm still not where I want to be. I still have a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
I still got these 70 pounds to lose.
Girl, you a mess.
You see what I'm saying? Yes. I still got so much I want to do.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not there yet.
Right.
Period.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I need to get in acting classes. I need to do this. I need to do this and keep getting better and better. I need to go take some dance classes. Even though I've danced my whole life.
Right.
You know what I mean? You never stop learning and being great. So mediocrity is just something I just can't, I don't want to give into.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just think that, people a lot of times, again, social media, it really will have you delusional out here. Anybody.
Indubitably.
And it's real easy.
It is.
It's very easy where, especially if you're looking at the next person, you're like, well, they didn't do that much, so why? Because I've had clients to say that. Like, well, they didn't do it, and they blew up. Why I have to do it? Because you want to be greater.
Right.
You want to be better. You want to be the best. People wonder why certain artists are still on top. It's because they understand that you never stop growing, you never stop being excellent, you never stop learning.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's why they continue to be great.
That part. Ooh, she said
on
word.
Top. And on top. So yeah, I'm on my road to greatness right now.
And she said that in 2025. It's a new year, y'all.
For real.
It's a new season. Yes. So to wrap all of this up, a beautiful bow. I have heard you say quite a lot.
Yes.
But the one thing that I have continued to hear you say throughout all of this is that you have lived your life on stage.
Yes.
In excellence continuously and you are not done.
No.
Now, the last bit of advice that I would love for you to answer for our viewers, listeners, readers, and subscribers is, what would you say to those who are in business, who are entertainers, creatives of all kinds, right? How do they continue or begin to present in excellence?
Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Bet on you every time.
Come on.
And literally, if it's whatever field you want to be in,
Right.
just go hard in the paint. Go
In the
hard in
paint.
the paint
Yeah.
after that thing. You know what I mean? If you want to be the number one top hairstylist, you got to put in the hours.
Yeah.
You know what do they say? 10,000 hours or more.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just be great. Just want to be great at
Be
whatever.
great.
Just learn everything you can. And I'm telling you, don't get caught up in how God is bringing you the knowledge. It may be a child.
Yes.
It may be an elder. It may be, you don't know where it's going to come from. But just be open.
Come on.
Because resources, I really believe that if God plants something in you, it means that you're ready and that it's resources all around you,
That's
information
right.
all
Yes.
around you, but you got to really sit back and tap into it
Yes.
and say, you know what, okay, because I truly believe you take the first step, then God gonna do the rest. You just got to trust the process. And I think that also too, don't get weary in well doing.
Yeah.
Don't faint on the path. You know what I mean? On the journey, because sometimes we get to a place where we're like, dang, it ain't happened in 2 years. Dang, it ain't happened in 3 years.
Right.
Dang, it ain't happened in 4 years. And then that 5th year, that's when it happens.
That's when it happens.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So don't give up. Don't quit.
Y'all heard it first.
Don't quit.
Don't quit.
Don't quit.
Don't give up. If you're ready to get stronger,
Right.
you better not let go.
Come on.
Yes,
Hey.
come on now.
Don't quit.
That's right.
Don't
That's right.
quit.
I
And,
love it.
and just, put people around you that's gonna believe in you. And most of all, you have to believe in yourself, because if you're the head of something
Yeah.
and you're fired up about something, like really like on fire about it,
Right.
trust me, everybody around you gonna get on that vibration.
Yes.
And if they don't, that means that God will replace them with the right people. You know what I'm saying? So
That's a word.
you gotta make sure
Yeah.
that your circle around you are people who believe in what you're doing.
Right.
And also too, that they are truly in a season to serve, because you want to make sure that you don't have people around you that's in a season is not to serve, but
Right.
they serving.
They
Does that make sense?
Oh, it does.
You know what I'm saying?
It absolutely
Because
does.
sometimes you want to help people and want to serve, but if God be like, well, your season, because I want you to focus on you. And
You
then,
over here.
yeah,
Yeah.
And sometimes that could be a conflict.
Exactly.
So, you just ask God to bring the right people around you. And that's what I do. Bring me the right people, everything I need, and be specific. Like, write your vision down, make it real plain, and ask God to give you this, and this. And those people will come. Sometimes it might not be in the package you thought.
Come on
But
now.
it's gonna come.
It's coming.
So, I've been at this for years, and I'm telling you, so many times I was like, God, this is a lot. Should I just let it go? And then literally I'll open up YouTube and I see this most beautiful comment. And it'll just keep me going. So God knows when you need something too. He'll
Absolutely.
send it to you in the moment you need your encouragement, because he's like, don't faint, don't stop, because you right there. Because we can't see. We can't see. But we right there at the door. And he like, yo, you don't even know you like 2 steps away.
Woo!
So, you just that right there is important.
And that's
having
a
the right
word.
people around you,
Yeah.
and being positioned in the right place, and just going all in, man.
Yeah.
That's just bet on yourself. Bet on yourself. Don't
Bet
ever
on
let
yourself.
nobody, if there's something that you're supposed to be doing, do it. Because how many people work on regular jobs in the corporate world, they hate it?
Woo!
How many people? I know a lot of them. They hate it. And then the job will have you on for 30, 40 years, fire you, and send you away with a pizza party.
A pizza party.
And
You
that's
won't
it.
even get a gold pen.
And that's it.
And that's it.
And,
Yes.
and best believe you die today, they will replace you behind tomorrow.
Sure, yeah. And won't think
And won't
anything
think
about
twice about it.
it. Exactly.
And that's real.
Yeah.
So, it's some people are meant to lead,
Yeah.
and some people are meant to be supporters of a visionary.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
I agree. I agree.
Know where your strengths are.
Come on now. Woo!
So, you know.
Isha, you have said a word on today.
You're so funny.
Listen, it has been so amazing having you come and
Thank you
sit
so
down on the
much.
couch in Brownstone Worldwide. I
I've
really
enjoyed
appreciate you.
I
coming
appreciate
and
you
hanging out
too.
with us today,
Yes.
because we have had a time.
We've had a time.
We have had a time. Listen, a time. What a time. And I really want to thank you for coming in, like I said.
Thank you for having me.
And sharing your story, your experiences. Y'all, get ready, because you are not only being interviewed for Brownstone Worldwide, but you're also the cover of Brownstone Living Magazine. So we're really excited.
Look
I can't
at God.
wait for the come on.
Kicking
and
out
see-
2025.
Yes,
Hey.
doing the thing. Doing the thing.
I love it.
And this is exciting because at the end of the day, God always knows
Yes.
who to put in position and where people belong. And I've always said that things always come full circle.
Yes.
They honestly do.
Yes.
You know, and
Yes.
so with that, I want to thank you again for coming to hang out
Thank
with
you.
us. This
Thank
has
you for
been
having
so
me.
amazing.
And many blessings
Yes,
to you on
girl.
everything. And girl, this is just the
Always.
beginning, honey.
Yes, ma'am.
Oprah gonna be on your couch.
I received that.
Yes. Yes, I mean, I love it seeing you do your thing. I've known you
Thank
for
you.
many, many years. You've
Yeah.
had always been such a beautiful spirit, beautiful voice, singing voice too, may I
Wow.
add.
Here we go. Here we go. Your speech.
You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
And I just many blessings on everything you're doing.
Thank
and I'm
you.
telling you, watch what God gonna do.
Come
Watch
on,
it.
I receive it.
Watch it. Watch.
In the name of
Y'all
Jesus.
watch it.
Yes. Amen. All right, you guys. It's been amazing. Thank you so much for hanging out with us here in the Brownstone. Remember this, 3 things that I always like to tell everybody
Yes.
that comes to hang out with us. 1, love your life. It is the only one that you have. 2, live your life to the fullest and breathe through every single
Ooh, I love it.
moment.
Mm.
We'll see you on the next issue and edition of Brownstone Living, Brownstone's Best Business Review, and Brownstone Worldwide. We'll see you around.